You ever get the feeling like there's this whole conversation happening around you, like everyone's in on a secret?
Uh-huh.
Lately, that secret seems to be Palantir. They analyze data, use AI, and, well, the whispers are getting louder. $1 trillion market cap. That's what everyone's saying. So we're taking a deep dive looking at this Wall Street Journal article you all sent over. Is this for real? Is this hype? We're going to find out.
This is big. $1 trillion. That's
Yeah.
that's Apple and Microsoft territory. We're not talking about some little startup either. Palantir is already massive. They're at $82 billion, which, let's be honest, is nothing to sneeze at. So how do they get 10 times bigger?
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering. $1 trillion. I mean, help me out here. What does that even look like in the real world?
Okay. Imagine a company's value is a house, right? Market cap. That's the price tag. Now, two houses, same number of rooms. Those are the shares, right? But one's a cottage. The other, it's like an estate. Same shares, but that estate. Worth way more. That's market cap.
Okay, got it. So Palantir's got to become the real estate tycoon of the data world.
Something like that. Revenue have to skyrocket. Profits, consistent. And investors, they got to be all in, believing in the dream.
That's a tall order. History's not exactly on their side, is it? Don't companies usually hit a ceiling?
You're not wrong. It's physics, almost. That boulder gets heavier the higher you push. Exponential growth. It's tough to maintain, especially when you're already big.
So what's the Wall Street Journal saying? They're at what, $2.8 billion in revenue? Which, by the way, sounds like a ton of money to me. But to hit $1 trillion in, say, 5 years, we're talking $34 billion. And their price-to-sales ratio, 36. I mean, come on. This whole price-to-sales thing, can we break that down? Why does it matter so much for Palantir?
Yeah, 36 is steep, right? Basically, investors are paying $36 for every dollar Palantir makes. It's a gamble, a down payment on what they think it'll be worth later.
So are they just banking on potential here? I mean, that's a lot of trust.
Yeah, but that's where it gets interesting. There are reasons people are so gung-ho about Palantir.
Right. The article mentioned Bank of America. They're calling them a misunderstood company. They're into the AI thing, the big partnerships. Plus, they're on that US 1 list, which is like the stock market A-listers, right?
Yeah. Big time. And for a real-world example, look at what they're doing with Nebraska medicine. Hospitals, right? Making them smarter with AI.
Okay, I'm listening.
So imagine this. The AI knows, before anyone else, which patients need the most attention. Nurses. They're not waiting for things to go wrong. They're ahead of the game.
So it's like proactive healthcare. That's huge.
Exactly. And this is just one piece. Palantir, they made their name in the government world, right? Top secret data, defense, intelligence. They've been handling the high-stakes stuff for a while now.
Okay, so they've got the experience, the tech. Everyone's talking about them. But realistically, can they pull this off? $1 trillion.
It's a mountain, no doubt. The article even suggests maybe 10 to 15 years is more realistic.
Okay, so we're stretching the timeline a bit. What does that do to their growth?
They're aiming for 21 to 33% annually. More manageable, but still.
Still intense. What's standing in their way?
Competition's fierce. We're talking big players in data and AI, companies with resources to burn. To win this race, Palantir can't just keep up. They have to be the ones setting the pace.
And it's not just about inventing cool tech, right? Someone's got to actually use it.
Bingo! Can they scale? Government contracts are one thing, but to hit those revenue targets, they need everyone on board.
It's a high-risk, high-reward situation then. And what about the price to sales, price to earnings? All those ratios we were talking about.
Ah, good point. Those numbers, they're like the new restaurant effect. At first, everyone's lining up, paying a premium. But once the hype fades...
They better be delivering the goods.
Exactly. Investors, they crave consistency. Potential's great. But as a company grows, the stakes get higher.
So even if Palantir's crushing it, there's no guarantee those high valuations will last.
Welcome to the stock market. Sentiment can turn on a dime. They're walking a tightrope, that's for sure.
I gotta say, even just talking about $1 trillion, it's almost like too big to grasp, you know?
It's easy to get lost in the numbers. The article even mentions a more, shall we say, grounded target, $500 billion.
Okay, so still huge, but yeah, a bit easier to wrap your head around. Does that change anything, their whole strategy?
It changes the climb, that's for sure. Instead of Everest, maybe it's more like K2. Still treacherous, but
doable.
Maybe. They'd be looking at a growth rate of 24 to 28% annually. Still ambitious, but we've seen that before from other big tech companies.
So instead of sprinting, it's a marathon.
Exactly. And that's what's so interesting about Palantir. They've got something special. AI is the future. Everyone knows that. And they're on the front lines. But to keep winning, to keep growing at this scale, That takes precision.
So it's not just about the product. It's about navigating the whole game, right? Competition, the market, all of it.
Think of it like this. They're building the plane while they're flying it. $1 trillion or not, you got to respect that. They're pushing the limits, showing us what's possible with data and AI.
No doubt about that. This deep dive has been a wild ride. We've looked at the numbers, the potential, the whole shebang. So what's the biggest takeaway for you?
Informed skepticism. It's exciting, right? A company like Palantir, aiming for the stars. But we can't get swept in this by the hype. Understand the good and the bad, the potential and the risks. That's how you navigate this crazy world of high-growth companies.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, there you have it. We've laid it all out for you. Now it's your turn. Palantir and Tier. Headed for a $1 trillion victory lap? Or are they headed for a crash landing? Let us know what you think.